Hello, folks. This is the BERGS Show. The BERGS is back again. How you doing tonight? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. How you folks doing tonight? Tonight, we're going to talk about technology. You can enter my classroom. This is Professor Berg's. Class is definitely in session right now. Everybody filter in. Let's wait for the room to populate. And the topic is very simple tonight, folks. It's a very simple topic. It's one that I've thought long and hard about in my 46 years on the planet Earth. You see, I'm not a millennial. I'm 46 years old, folks. I've been around a long time. The question is, the topic is, has technology improved our lives? Well, I broke it down into three categories of technology. The computer/internet, gaming, and the phone, the smartphones, cell phones. Now, let me give you a brief history, brief synopsis about the BERGS. Being somebody who was born in 1973 in New Jersey, when I was growing up in the late 70s and 80s, we didn't have cell phones, okay? The cell phone might have been invented, I think, in the early 80s, maybe even the late 70s, a car phone. The average person did not start getting cell phones until the 90s, the mid to late 90s. So I didn't grow up during the cell phones or smartphones. If you wanted to talk to somebody, you called them. The phones we had in our house in New Jersey were rotary phones. So you dial the number. I always was envious of whatever friends I had who had the push button phones. Okay. You wanted to call a buddy, you'd call him up. Hey, Brian, what's up? Yeah, this is the BERGS. What's going on? Okay, you want to hang out? Okay, I'll be down at your house. How about we meet in the village downtown? I'll be on my bike, maybe on my skateboard. Okay. And you go hang out with your friends. You go play. You're very active. We were very active back then. We had a very active lifestyle, not a very sedentary lifestyle like they have now. Okay. Back when I was growing up, gaming, and I'm not talking about casino gaming. I'm just talking about playing Nintendo, things like that. Well, when I was growing up, the big thing was Atari. everyone wanted to get an Atari. Okay, you had Atari. You had ColecoVision. And you had something called Intellivision. Now, most people had Atari. We had Atari back in the early 80s, the 80s. Also, because my father was a computer programmer, he had a Texas Instruments computer. And he had, which he would write code. I believe my father wrote Pascal or Basic, COBOL. He wrote a lot of these old 60s, 70s, 80s languages. He had, and then we got the Apple IIe. Apple IIe computer, which we had a lot of floppy disks and we had a lot of games. I also remember we had this thing called Print Shop. So you could type something on the screen and it would print on the printer. One of those old-fashioned printers, and it'd go. It would take forever, but you'd print like a banner, like the BERGS Show, and it'd be like 10 feet long, right? So, but also in the 80s, folks, I'm talking about the 80s when I was growing up in New Jersey. We would go to the mall, and at the mall, there'd be arcades. Okay? And also, there would also be businesses which had arcade games. Lots of businesses in the towns in New Jersey where I was from. You might go down to the pizzeria, and in the back, there'd be 2 or 3 arcade games and a cigarette machine where cigarettes were like $1.50 a pack. I don't smoke, but I remember recently seeing a picture at this local place where I went to back in New Jersey. The photo was from about 1984, 85, and you could clearly see the cigarette machine and said $1.50. So we would go to arcades where games were a quarter. So you could get dropped off at the mall by one of your friends' parents. You have $10 in your pocket, and that could go far. But the games we played at home were mostly Atari, but they were very basic kind of games. We're talking about Asteroids, Pitfall, what else? What were the Atari games, man? It's been so long. Tennis. Yeah, you had the paddles. You play tennis, Pac-Man, all that shit. Atari. What were the popular Atari games? Oh, let me look this up. Name some Atari games.
Popular on the web: Asteroids, Missile Command, Adventure, and others.
Yeah, you had Combat, Asteroids, Missile Command, Adventure, Warlords, Star Raiders, Battlezone, Centipede, Super Breakout, Pitfall, Basketball, Kaboom. Kaboom. I like Kaboom. Raiders of the Lost Ark, Millipede, Space Invaders, Tempest, Miss Pac-Man, Demon Attack, River Raid, Pong. Well, Pong was from 1972. Just trying to, Joust. I love that one. Berserk, Frogger. Cubert. Okay. Yeah. So it was very, very basic graphics. But we weren't addicted to these games, not like the kids now, because the games are so high tech now on the PlayStation or whatever they're using, Xbox, whatever. The games are the shooter games. The most of the people, it seems like I see, are playing all these shoot me up games, and they're so realistic that I guess they really are addictive. But is that really making your life better? Huh? I don't think it is. See, we were more well-rounded back when I was growing up. We were more well-rounded. We would play these games mostly at nighttime before bed, Atari. During the daytime after school, we'd go hang out at our friend's house, running around town on our bicycles and skateboards and just causing havoc and playing sports. And like I said, the computer and the internet, the computers back in the 80s, not much, I guess you had Apple and the Apple IIe. You had what? Texas Instruments. There were several others. I think Apple Macintosh came out. A bunch of stuff. I never got into that. But it wasn't really taking over our lives. We had a social life back then. Okay? You would go to concerts and you go and see the bands. Now, if you look on YouTube, any band that plays live now, everyone's holding up their phones. Everyone's holding up their phones while they're watching the concert. They have to all be recording it. I mean, you're not even going to get a very good picture. And everyone else is recording it anyway. So you can go on YouTube and see it. Why are you holding your thing up? Why are you holding your phone up? You should be experiencing the concert yourself without any gadgets on you. You should just be watching it, hanging out with your buddies. Yeah, man, I hope Judas Priest plays Painkiller. And then they start playing Painkiller. Or You Got Another Thing Coming. You're high-fiving your friends. You're drinking a beer. You're hanging out. You're not fucking glued to the phone. Having the phone. Back in the, when it comes time to the encores now, everyone just turns on. They don't even have a lighter anymore like in the old days. They just put their flashlight on the phone like this. Every rose has its thorn. Everyone's got a freaking flashlight, right, on their phone. No one's holding up the lighters anymore. None of that. And then you get to the cell phone generation. Most of the time, in the 80s, the late 80s, every now and then you'd have a friend or some kid in school, and he would have a beeper. And that was like a big thing, right? And everyone would say, oh, Joe, he's got a beeper. He's a drug dealer. He's a drug dealer. Only the drug dealers, right, in New Jersey had beepers in those days. Nobody had a beeper except the drug dealers, because that's what they do. Their clients need to get a hold of them, so they got to go to a public phone booth, call them up. Hey, what you need. Cell phones. I didn't really see the cell phones even come out to a large extent. Even when we moved out here to the Seattle area in 1992, didn't really see it happening. Even in the mid-90s, didn't really even see it happen. Now, the late 90s, I kind of had like this little crew who I hung out with down in downtown, down and around the University District, the U District down in Seattle. We'd hang out on the weekends, go to parties, a lot of house parties. And every now and then you'd have a friend who'd have a cell phone. I'm talking about like 90, 97, 98, 99. But even then, not everyone had one. No, and those phones back then were very rudimentary. All you could pretty much do was call people. I guess you could text. I don't know. Maybe you could text also. But there weren't enough cell towers back then. So, if you go outside your little area, a thing would pop up on your screen that said roam. 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 You're roaming, which means big time phone bills. So people back then were getting $200, $300, $400, $500 phone bills a month because the cell phone industry hadn't figured out everything yet. They hadn't figured out the pricing. They didn't have enough cell towers, and the demand was picking up for the phones. Is that the real Nippy? A Nippy, I'll give you a wrench. I pulled everyone's wrenches the other day because I was having a problem with some wrenches. So finally, in 2003, I had moved back to New Jersey. Well, I had moved back in 2002 to 2005. And in 2003, I decided, you know what? I'm finally going to get a cell phone. Because all my friends there had cell phones by that time. I was like 29, almost 30 years old. And I just needed a cell phone just to get a hold of people. That was my rationale. So let me see if I can find my phone. Photo of a Nokia cell phone from 2003.
Showing pictures that match.
His old school cell phones here. Let me find the one that was the first phone I ever got. It'll be pretty easy for me to spot it. It was a Nokia. It was through AT&T Wireless. Let me see if I can find the phone. Photos of old school Nokia cell phones.
These pictures should match.
I think it might have been this one, folks. I think It was very similar to something like this. But it wasn't that one. It was not that one. It was not that phone, Nippy. It was very similar. So let me look through here. I'm going to find it. It was not that phone. It didn't have I remember it did not have an antenna. I should be able to find it. I probably still have the phone in some box somewhere. Could it have been that one? No, it wasn't that one. So now this is kind of like, it could have been that one. No, it's not that one. It's like you know it when you see it. You know it. You know it when you see it. Could have been that one. It could have been this one. It could have been something like this, folks. It could have been this. A Nokia 3310. Something very similar to this. This is my first cell phone in 2003. Something very, very similar to that. Remember that, Nippy? Nippy, do you remember that one? Remember that one? I think it was very similar to that one. But that's not even it. Mine was a little bit more rectangle. It was a little more like it was heavier, like a rectangle. I don't know. See if I can find it. I could probably sell it, man. It's probably worth something, huh? I don't even know if I still have it. Anyway, yeah, it was something like that. But see, the phones back then, when I got my first cell phone in 2003, they were not ruining people's lives yet. Yes, it was a cool thing to know that I could leave my house or where I was living in New Jersey, and I could, walk downtown to the village, have a couple slices of pizza, and then if I wanted, pull out my phone and call up my friend Pete and say, "Hey, Pete, what are you doing? Where you at? You want to hang out? Come and pick me up." That was a very cool feeling to walk around with a little cell phone. I'll be honest with you. Now, I would get that the roaming thing, the roam would pop on there all the time when we were driving through New Jersey to different towns. And as soon as that roaming was on there, oh shit, you didn't want to make any calls. I would get some big ass fucking bills. I do remember that. And I have to fucking talk to the people and say, "Hey, I can't pay a $200 phone bill. What the hell's going on here?" See, they didn't have everything worked out. Northern New Jersey. The bottom line is this. They didn't have everything worked out back then. They didn't have all the cell towers in place. Everything was still kind of in its infancy with the cell phones, even in 2003, when I got my first cell phone. I was almost 30 years old. That's how long I held out. Because I just figured I didn't need one. Yeah, very, very close to you, Bill W. The bottom line is this. I didn't feel that I needed one. I remember when I was in my 20s, in the 1990s, there were other people who have cell phones, But the rationale back then was you only need a cell phone. People would say, yeah, you need a cell phone because what happens if I break down on the highway? And then I would talk to other people. I'd say, well, I've been driving for 10 years and I've never broken down. Maybe a couple times I ran out of gas. I mean, you just figure it out. So that was the rationale back then, that you needed to have a phone in case if you broke down. But I always kept my car, oil changed, make sure I didn't, gas, everything was, but yeah. So I never really broke down. Okay. I did run out of gas a couple times, which is a very embarrassing situation because you should never let yourself run out of gas, especially back in the 1990s when gas was fucking cheap. Okay, 95 cents a gallon. So I eventually, this is not a cell phone history, but I eventually graduated to different phones. Flip phone that came out. Wow, look, it flips. Oh my God. I had the Nextel phone for a while, which was cool because you could do the walkie-talkie. You could do a walkie-talkie option with a friend, which was cool because you weren't burning up. I don't believe you were burning up any of your minutes. Because back then it was all about your minutes. And that was a cool to have that Nextel, the walkie-talkie feature. And they actually still make Nextels. A lot of people who work in a lot of construction workers. Yeah, Union County is right next to me. You know who's from Union? The actor Ray Liotta. The actor, and of course, Artie Lang, who some people say I look like Artie Lang. Whatever. But I believe those Nextel Direct Connect phones are still around. A lot of people who are construction workers use them because they like the feature of the walkie-talkie, whatever you want to call it. The Direct Connect feature. So then the gaming got better. And then eventually people, Nintendo came out in the late 80s, mid to late 80s, Nintendo. And everyone had to get a Nintendo. We got a Nintendo. Then the Sega Genesis came out. I got a Sega Genesis. And that's when I pretty much stopped gaming around that time. I think I sold the Sega Genesis here at a yard sale like over 20 years ago. I wish I still had it, actually, because I missed those old school games. I liked the hockey, the NHL hockey on the Sega Genesis. You could hit somebody or fight them, and then you could make their head bleed when they hit the ice. There were like different cheat codes and stuff. And then I think there was a game for Nintendo called Tecmo Bowl. It was like a football game, and if you pick like Bo Jackson, he was the only one who could run all over the place. Everyone else just ran like vertically, then horizontally, vertically. Tecmo Bowl was cool. That's when I really got off the whole gaming thing in about, I would say, 94, 93, 94. And that's when I started, playing the guitar in 93. So that was my main hobby. And yeah, I miss the pizza joints in New Jersey. Definitely. I missed those days, with the cigarette machines in there. I miss how things were cheap. in my town in New Jersey in the 80s, you could get 2 slices and a Coke. 2 slices and those big New Jersey slices and a Coke. 2 slices and a small Coke for $2. 2 slices and a small Coke for $2. Okay, things were just cheaper back then. So the bottom line is this: things were just cheaper back then, and then I didn't get into the whole PlayStation or what else? Xbox, or any of that kind of stuff. And all the games now are just like, they all seem like they're military, shoot 'em up, kill people games. And people have become very addicted to them. And that's just the bottom line. And then, with the computers, everything got better. And then when the internet came around, everyone got everyone's all now addicted to the internet, with YouTube, everyone's addicted to everything. And, YouTube is an addiction. There's no doubt about it. Okay. Going live is an addiction. Okay. As you can see from the never-ending van build, and then people who go live all the time. Now, I'm going live right now to build up my watch hours. Okay. I'm building up my watch hours. Because in order to get monetized, you need over 1,000 subs and 4,000 public watch hours for the last year. Now I have about 13,000 total watch hours. But because I would do a lot of dirty deletes, because I would go live and, scum it up, drink, whatever, get drunk and just say some outrageous things, I would always delete them, and they didn't count towards the public watch hours, which is really screwed me up towards my monetization. Because a lot of people have said, how come you are not monetized, Bergs? I mean, so many people have been monetized. Anderson, Henderson, recently, everyone. Melton's been monetized. Everyone who you can think of has been monetized. And I've been going at it day in, day out for over a year. For 2 years now. And I'm not monetized. Because I basically shot myself in the foot by doing all these dirty deletes. So I'm almost at that 4,000 public watch hours, folks. That's why I'm doing these kinds of videos. And keep on watching them. Please, keep on watching them. Keep on watching everything. Let's build my watch hours up. So basically, the cell phones have turned into smartphones. You can do anything on the smartphone now. And I think that they've really hurt society. There's no doubt about it. People's social skills have definitely diminished. Okay? I went into a bar. Well, Buffalo Wild Wings, the people at the bar have a lot of social skills. You know, we all cut it up. Yeah, I went into a bar around here, the town I live in. It's a big bar like this, almost like Cheers, you know, wraps around. So you got the bar here in the middle, whatever, where the people work, bartenders. Got everyone sitting at the bar. Circles of the people. I went into this particular bar here, like last year, around my area. You know, a bar like that. That's like the bar. That's like people sitting at the bar. It's like the main area. The bartenders are, with, you know, the drinks, the beers, the wines, the liquors, and everybody, practically everybody, sitting around the bar, men and women. I mean, in the old days, what would you do? You'd go to a bar to try to what? To try to pick up chicks. To try to get laid, folks. Right? That was the number one thing. And people were social with each other. That's just the bar area. Well, this particular place, there's just a bar area, and then there's a restaurant area. It's not a nightclub. So I found myself sitting at the bar because, you know, every now and then, you know, because they do have good beers there. You know, they brew their own beers. So I found myself sitting at the bar and just kind of looking around. I'm a people watcher too, right? I'm kind of looking around, and everybody is in their fucking phone, man. Not everybody. That's a generalization. Let's just say there's a total of 50 people around the bar. 50 people. Let's just say 40 to 45 people are in their phone. They're just looking down. They have that fucking, you know, they need to go to the chiropractor. They got a text neck, you know. That's a text neck. Your neck should be like that. They need to go to a chiropractor. Get that adjusted. Everybody was in their phone, man. And I'm not just talking about millennials. I'm talking about people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever. Everyone's in their phone. What kind of a fun atmosphere is that? If you're just going to be in your phone, why even fucking leave your house? Because what? Because you're going there for the beer and the chicken wings and the burger or something? The whole idea behind a bar, a watering hole, Now, this is just one particular place. Now, there are more places where, honky tonks or whatever, more people who are down to earth playing darts, shooting pool, but they're probably in their phones too. But a bar is supposed to be a social place, a social environment where people get together and eat, drink, and be merry and meet other people. And maybe even get lucky. That's what the whole idea of a bar was, I thought, back in the day when I was growing up. Now everyone's in their goddamn phone. So there was like this guy sitting next to me. I was just trying to do guy talk and say, hey. But he was in his phone constantly. I asked him, I said, hey, how's it going? I shot the shit a little bit. And he would give me very short, and he didn't really look like a millennial. He looked a little bit older, maybe not in my age range, my mid-40s, probably late 30s or something. And he was very dismissive, and his answers were very short. Basically, he had no fucking social skills. I wasn't asking him tough questions. I mean, I was just trying to shoot the shit. So what I'm trying to say here is this. Technology has made our life worse. It's totally broken down the fabric of society. It's totally made us more antisocial. People don't meet each other the ways that we used to meet each other. Everyone has to rely on a fucking app, a dating app, Plenty of Fish or Tinder or Match.com or eHarmony, all these places to try to find a chick, or if a woman's trying to find a guy to get married or hook up or whatever. Everyone's got to have a fucking app. Swipe to the left if you don't like them, swipe to the right. I mean, what the fuck? Is this what it's really come to? I mean, now I'll admit I do enjoy the phone. I do enjoy the things about it. But I've gone on dates. I haven't gone on a date in a while. But if I go on a date, I will turn my phone on to vibrate or something, because I don't want to leave it totally off, because I do live with my elderly parents, or there could be an emergency. Okay? So I like them to get a hold of me. But I've gone on dates where these chicks, and this is when the BERGS was looking really good. I mean, weighing a lot less, hair looking short, high and tight, clean cut, no beard, wearing the khakis, the button down. Still the same BERGS though, right? Still good looking. But these women, a few of these chicks, man, they were just in their phone the whole time. And I had to say to this one girl, man, it's been a long time now. This has been a while ago now, 7 or 8 years ago. I said to her, because she kept on picking up her phone. I go, you're here with me. Well, why are you in your phone? I go, I have my phone here. It's on silent. I'm here to meet you. I'm not here to look at you looking at your phone. You understand? Like that. And I don't think that she's probably used to dating a bunch of pussies. She's not used to dating an alpha male from New Jersey like me. And then she goes, oh, I'm sorry. That was just my friend or something. It was probably her friend texting her, oh, how does he look or whatever. She was probably saying, oh, he's not my type. I don't know. But I was looking pretty good, I think. Bergs, you are going to unblock me? Kit Kat, you are unblocked. I see you right there. So the bottom line is this. Then I kind of let it go. Drinking a beer, looking at the menu. But I did not. The waitress came by and I said, we're going to need a few minutes for the food. I didn't know your main one was blocked. I'll unblock it tonight when I go upstairs on the main computer, as I would call the mainframe. So don't get your panties in a bunch, in a bind. Well, JT can't block you. Only thing that mods can do is time out people. Hold on a second. The only thing a mod can do, I believe, is time people out or hide their comments. Hey, Nippy, are you still in here? I want you to click on somebody's thing and tell me what a mod can do. Because I know what I can do. I can report somebody, remove them, put user in timeout, hide the user, or add moderator. But I think if you are a mod, you can't block somebody. Really? Oh, I don't know why he did that. Okay. But I'll make a point to get you reinstated into the BERGS sphere. Kitten cat. So I was on a date with this woman. This was a while ago because I got divorced in 2009, and I didn't really start dating again until 2011, maybe 10, 11. I probably met her in like 11 or 12, a while ago. So I had already expressed to her, why are you looking at your phone? I mean, this is like you're here with me. I'm taking you out, which means like I'm paying for your food, your meal, your drinks. She goes, oh, sorry, it's just a bad habit with my phone. I was talking to my friend. I go, oh, okay, no problem. Then I'm kind of not really feeling it at this point. I don't know why. Maybe she wasn't feeling it with me, but she was very pretty, and I was looking pretty good back then. I was probably looking how if you click on my PayPal link, I was probably looking like that back then. If you click on my Tip the Bergs, there's a picture of me. That was probably around 2012, 13. Kind of clean shaven, a little sideburns or something. But I weighed a lot less. But the bottom line is this. So then, I'm drinking a beer, getting down to the end of it. And then she does it again, man. I mean, we were talking sporadically. And then she picks up her phone again. And I made like a smart-ass comment. Like, wow. Like, you're really into that phone. I go, are you on a date with that phone or me? Like, what's going on here? And then she tries to play it off again. She tries to laugh it off. I go, oh, okay. And in my mind, I'm thinking, no bueno. No bueno. She went against the righteous. I said, no bueno. She does it one more time. Uno mas. 3 strikes, you're out. So I order another beer. She's like still on her first drink. I think she just got a drink or something. Long Island iced tea, whatever. I don't know what she got. So then I got another beer, and I'm just, we're talking a little bit sporadically, still looking at the menu. She actually seems like she's into me when she's talking to me. She picks up her phone again. Picks up the goddamn phone again. Starts texting again. Like I said, I gave her 2 chances. Third chance, you're out. I can drink beer pretty quick. I down the beer. I said, excuse me, I got to go use the restroom. She goes, no problem. And she's back. Her face is back in the phone. I walk over the restroom, take a leak. So we're sitting, so the entrance is like right here. Okay. We're sitting at like a booth right here. Booth. And she's sitting right here facing the wall. I stand up, walk this way to the bathroom area right here. Bathroom. I take a leak because I'm already done. This is DEFCON 5 now. She fucked with the wrong guy. She went up against the right. She went against the righteous. I'm not gonna be dealing with this all night, and I'm certainly not gonna buy her fucking dinner. So I'm not gonna, because I'm not a fucking nice guy like that. I'm not a guy who you can walk all over. I am a nice guy, but you have to treat me with respect, and I'll treat you with respect. You don't just get respect. You got to earn it. So I walk out of the bathroom. She doesn't even see me because her head is facing that way. So I walk over here, around the bar the other way. I find our waitress, who I know, because I've been going there for 20 years, 25 years at this point. And I said to her, how much were my beers? And they were like $5 each. I go, here's 20 bucks. It's $5 each for the beers. That's 2 beers, and here's $10 for you. I go, I'm leaving. This fucking chick is totally disrespectful. She's on her own. And then I meet her here, pay here, walk out here, walk out the entrance, and I'm fucking gone. So bottom line is this. Here is the place. Okay. So you walk in the entrance here. We're sitting here. She's sitting here with her face to the wall over here. I'm sitting here. After the third time where she picked up the phone again, after I basically let her know I was not cool with that. Are you on a date with me or on a date with your phone? I finished my drink, said I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Walked here to the restroom. I've been in this place a million times. Took a leak, walked around the bar. So she has no idea where I am because she's here looking that way, looking this way. Probably her face right in the phone. I pay the waitress for my beers. I give her a nice tip. I said, she's on her own. She's totally disrespectful. I'm out of here. I go, you can tell her whatever you want. And then I just walk out. Boom, 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 boom. Walk out to the parking lot and drive home. It's only like a mile away where I live. Then she starts blowing my phone up. Chris, where are you? Where are you? What happened? You okay? What's going on? I didn't answer it first. Then after maybe 5 minutes, because she probably sent, I don't know, 5 or 6 text messages. I said, well, you know what you did wrong. You wanted to be on a date with a phone. You don't want me. You don't want me. You wanted to date your phone. I'm not into phones. I'm into people. Goodbye. And once you say that, oh, they want you even more. And she blew up my phone all night. Why'd you do that? Blah, 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 blah. Why'd you do that? Well, she fucked up. She fucked up. She went against the righteous. So the moral of the story is this. No, the waiter, the woman, she didn't do my dirty work. I said, tell her whatever you want to tell her. No, I'm alone because I choose to be alone. I've been married before, and you are in timeout, sour pickles, because that's what you are. You're nothing but a troll. You're nothing but a scumbag. Everything you say is negative. So go fuck yourself. I'm alone because I choose to be alone. I was married. I don't have any kids because I chose, because at the age of 15 in New Jersey in 1988, I decided I never want to have kids. And I've already gone into that story. But the bottom line is this. This whole bar scene is just an example of how technology has ruined our lives. Because this scene wouldn't have happened 20, 25, 30 years ago. But because she has this, and she had like a new fancy phone. She had like a really high-tech phone. At that time, I think I just had like a basic flip phone. But she had like one of the a good ones. I don't know what she had. And she seemed like she was into me. I mean, I was looking pretty good back then. I mean, anyone who's seen, and Kitten Cat knows what I look like. Kitten Cat's seen pictures when I was younger. I mean, very clean cut, very in shape, very, clean shaven, short hair. She fucked up. You don't do that on a first date. It's extremely disrespectful. That's extremely disrespectful to do that on a first date. I don't do that. I wouldn't do that to anybody on a first date. Okay? But I use that example to show you, and this happened a while ago, folks. This was probably in 2012. So you're looking at 7 or 8 years ago. So that this wasn't like it just happened. Yeah, I am the George Clooney of YouTube. I am the Silver Fox of YouTube. And I am the Fonz on a date. I'm a good date. I'm a great date. But you know what? You go against the Fonz. You go against the righteous. The Fonz is going to give you the royal boot. Now, some people might say, oh, that's a pussy move that you did, Bergs, walking out on her. I don't think it was at all. You're talking about this was a first date. We met on some goddamn, I think it was called Yahoo Personals. Yahoo used to have a personal section. Yahoo Personal Ads, Goose. You guys remember them. I don't think Yahoo has personal ads anymore. And we talked, or we emailed back for a good couple weeks. And we talked on the phone a few times, and we exchanged a couple pictures. So we knew what we looked like. And she was good looking. But I can't take that kind of shit. But after I did that, she wanted me even more. You know, I happened to meet somebody else. I never got back to her really in any real way. Just superficial texting. And she moved on. Yeah, I never did the party lines. I would never call people up. I always had a bunch of friends. I always had a big group of friends. So the bottom line is this. Technology has made our lives better in some ways, but I think overall it's made us worse. It's made us addicted to YouTube like this, to doing hangouts. It's very addictive. It's very addictive to go live. It's very people say, Bergs, aren't you nervous to go live and show your face? I'm not nervous at all. What do I have to be nervous about? Okay? I'm not nervous at all. There are a lot of people who are very nervous to fucking Berg up. I think, but it works both ways. It's addictive from my perspective on this end, but it's also addictive from your perspective on your end, people who are trolls or people who don't cam up. It's still addictive. We're all part of the same community. Now, I think YouTube and Netflix and all this have taken over. People don't watch TV as much anymore. I think TV is going to become a thing of the past in a very short amount of time. Who the hell watches things on TV anymore? Regular TV. I mean, I do at nighttime. Only time that I watch TV now is at really, really late at night. When I am done, totally done in the garage, totally done. I mean, because this is my second hangout. To be honest with you, it's only 9 o'clock here. I'll probably do another hangout after this. I'll be ending this one shortly. I'll probably be doing another one later. And then maybe I might even play the guitar again. So, yeah, because I'm trying to build up my public watch hours to get monetized. Hopefully, I can be applying for monetization as early as next week. Finally get the Bergs monetized. Finally get the super chat on there. Finally get the AdSense, and we'll see what happens. But I don't really watch TV, Goose, Bill W. I really don't watch TV. We got a beautiful 50-inch, whatever, flat screen. I'll watch the game tomorrow. I'll watch the Seattle Seahawks game. I'll watch the entire game. But other than that and the Seattle Mariners, I don't watch the nightly news anymore. You can get all your news, your weather reports on your phone. I don't watch politics anymore. I'm done with politics. I used to be very into politics. I'm not into politics anymore. Only time I watch TV is when I'm totally done for the night in the garage here, in the Berg cave, the Bat Cave, in the Berg cave, and I am totally done. I'm shutting down for the night. It's usually around 2 a.m., and I go into the kitchen. I take my Ambien sleeping pill, and I fucking make a Hot Pocket, or I make a cup of ramen noodles, and I sit down and I watch a little HBO because they gave us all the HBO channels because HBO is struggling. People are struggling. The TV, the cable, they're struggling because not as many people are watching TV now. Okay? So we just had the basic HBO package. They've given us like all of the HBO channels now. Plus, I think they gave us all of Showtime. So I can always find a movie late at night. So that's the only time I'll watch TV is late at night. Like tonight, I'll probably watch something, whatever's on. I'll watch TV for like an hour and a half, and then I'll get tired and I'll say, fuck it. I've seen this movie before, and I'll turn it off and I'll go upstairs and I'll go to bed. No, I don't drink on Ambien. Well, see, the whole thing here, Goose, is this. And if you guys like this quality content, show your love to the Bergs at paypal.me/thebergs1973. Show me a little bit of holiday love if that's what you wish to do. At paypal.me/thebergs1973. All the links are in the description of this video. I also have a Teespring store and a GoFundMe page. Well, see, the thing is, man, it's all fucked up. YouTube fucked me over. I hate to say it. I don't know what's going on there. But in order to get monetized, in the old days, they said you needed 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours for the last year, 365 days. Well, I've had over 1,000 subs since like February this year. I think I'm up to 1,517 subs. Now, I applied for monetization back in fucking February, and they finally got back to me like a month ago, which was unheard of how long it took. I mean, Mallory Williams got monetized, I think, in 2 days. I mean, Henderson is even monetized, folks. Everyone's monetized. Melton John, I don't even want to get into it. In the Bergs, I have a plethora of talents. Everyone knows. Everyone knows I can play the guitar. I can do a lot of things. I do the cartoons. I do voices. I do parodies. So the bottom line is this. If I look at my analytics on YouTube, I have almost 13,000 watch hours in the last year. So you might be saying to yourself, what's going on here, Bergs? All you need is 4,000 watch hours for the last year, but you have almost 13,000. And you have over 1,000 subs. How come you're not monetized, Bergs? Well, I had to, first off, you cannot get a hold of YouTube. There is no phone number, 1-800 number. There's no way to get a hold of them except through Twitter. They actually get back to you on Twitter. So I got a hold of them last month. And I said, what is going on here? What is going on here? I should be monetized. And they got back to me and they said, yeah, at that time I had around 12,000 watch hours. I have like 13,000 now. Total watch hours. They said to me on the tweets, they said, even though you have around 12,000 total watch hours, you need to have 4,000 public watch hours. 4,000 public watch hours. And I didn't even know what that meant. And they didn't even get back to me on that. I had to hunt around to see what that meant. And I'm pretty sure what that meant was, even though I had about 12,000 total watch hours, I did a lot of dirty deleting in 2018 and 19. I would get drunk. I would talk a bunch of shit. I would do all this stuff, and then I would dirty delete, which means you just delete. So when you delete something like that, it doesn't count towards your public watch hours. It counts towards your total watch hours. So everything was totally skewed. Everything was totally upside down. So I had a shitload of total watch hours, but I only had something like, this is like a month ago, like 1,700 public watch hours. Now, in the last month, I've been able to build my public watch hours from about 1,700 to, I'm at 3,718. And I need 4,000 public watch hours to apply for monetization. So I'm almost there. Now, what is a public watch hour? I'm still not even sure. But the bottom line is this. I think it's when you make videos like this and you don't use any copywritten music. As you see, I'm not playing any songs. And you leave the video up. It's just a clean video. And these are all public watch hours. So like yesterday, I did 4 Hangouts. I actually was able to go from 3,613 to this morning when I checked, it was 3,718. So I gained 105 public watch hours in just 24 hours. So that's what I'm trying to do, folks. So anybody out here who's a fan of the Bergs, Goose, Bill W., all you folks lurking, let's get the Bergs to 4,000 public watch hours. Just keep watching my stuff. Come on. And if you are so inclined, show your love to the Bergs at paypal.me/thebergs1973. Let's get me monetized, folks. So the moral of this story is, I believe the technology, the internet, cell phones, gaming, it's all in all, I think it's detracted and hurt us as a society. Maybe it's helped a lot of people, made a lot of people millionaires and billionaires, Bill Gates, Steve Ballmer, all these people. But for the average person and the average person who just wants to live life and interact with people, people don't know how to interact anymore. And I think it's going to get even worse. When you see these kids growing up now with all the technology, the millennials, that's all they know. They're in their phones, they're in their gadgets, they're camping out. When iPhone has another new release, they're sleeping on the sidewalks for a fucking phone. It's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. And I am glad that I am one of the people who's in his mid-40s who I can say, you know what? I have a little bit of the technology. I have the Chromebook. I have a nice smartphone. It's a decent smartphone. You know, but that's about it. So I've lived, I grew up without all that shit, before all that stuff, and now I have a little bit of it, but I don't need much of it. I don't need much more of it. Now there are some people, you look at Vinny G, you look at Tucker, and they got all their fucking things. They got all their 3 monitors. It looks like NASA mission control, you know, and Vinny's playing, he's doing his DJ stuff and whatever. If that's for him, I mean, even my guitar, it's very basic setup. You know, I got a Fender, Stratocaster, Fat Strat, Squire, and it's plugged straight into a Marshall MG30 DFX amp. Now, I have some effects on there, and I do have a drum pedal, and I do have a crybaby pedal, but I don't have all sorts of fucking technology. I've scaled down on that. I don't even have a microphone anymore. I sold my microphone a few years ago. I don't have a mic stand, a microphone. I probably should have kept the microphone. That was a dumb move. It's like a $200 microphone. Sold it on eBay. But the bottom line is this. I think all in all, technology has definitely hurt our society. And I long for the old days where, you know, you just had the arcades, Atari, a little Nintendo, and, you know, it wasn't all or nothing at all. See, now it's like all or nothing at all. You go to concerts back in the old days, you didn't hold your phones up. You would hold a lighter up. Now you got to hold the phones up. You put your flashlight on. I mean, we've become inundated with technology. It's too much. And forget about it. And then the cars. You go inside of a car. They have the brand new car with the big fucking dash, the computer in there. I don't even know. It just seems like a lot of stuff. Some people are really into that. Maybe if I had a lot of money, I'd be into that. Maybe I just can't afford technology. Maybe that's what it is. All right, folks. Well, I need to wrap this up, and I'll see you later. Later, Bill W. Later, everybody. And go watch all of Berg's stuff the last few days. Go watch all of my things. Let's build up my public watch hours. Let's get me monetized. Later.